Well, as we mentioned earlier, a fair share of challenges lie ahead for the new leader of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops. Joining us now from the conference with his take is Bishop Robert Barron, author and Bishop of the Diocese of Winona-Rochester in Minnesota. Your Excellency, thank you so much for your time today. We really appreciate it. As Archbishop Timothy Broglio assumes his new position as president of the USCCB, what do you see as the top challenges facing him right now? What are the big issues?
Well, I think the big issue for us, as it has been for a long time, is evangelization. We heard from the papal nuncio. The church is about active evangelization of the world and of our country. And I think the president of our conference has that as his primary responsibility, to get us galvanized around the work of evangelization. I think everything else is subordinate to that. Everything else flows from that. So I think that's priority one.
And obviously, this is the first meeting since the reversal of Roe. And last week's election results really seem to indicate that maybe some work needs to be done on the pro-life front. What can you report as far as that? And also your thoughts on Archbishop Broglio's desire to meet with President Biden?
Yeah, I think the post-Dobbs era is an important one, and I think what you said probably reflects our point of view, too, here in the conference, namely that it was wonderful that Roe v. Wade was overturned. If you had asked me even, 5 years ago if that was a likely possibility, I would have said no. So that's worth celebrating. I think we all celebrate it. At the same time, we know that there's a lot of work that needs to be done as the vote goes back to the individual states. And as you suggest, the election wasn't super encouraging in terms of the Americans in general, but Catholics in particular, standing strongly against abortion. So we have a lot of work to be done in the area of catechesis, but also in the area, I think, of evangelization, trying to get our lay people geared up for the transformation of the culture. And one of the key ways to do that is to stand for a culture of life. So I think it's good news and bad news. Good that Roe's been overturned, bad that still a lot of work needs to be done.
Absolutely. And also, again, your thoughts on Archbishop Broglio's desire to meet with President Biden. What do you think about that?
Good. I hope he can. I hope he does. I think having the opportunity to address politicians directly, Catholic politicians, who are not living up to their responsibility, I think that's a good thing. I know Archbishop Gomez signaled many times his openness to talking to President Biden. For whatever reason, that never happened. But I hope it happens now.
And I want to talk about something else. You specifically, you were elected chairman of the conference's Committee on Laity, Marriage, and Family Life. So I'm curious, what will be your top priorities in this new role?
When I met with the staff of the committee just today at lunch to meet them for the first time, because after this meeting I become the chair, I'll tell you, for me, a top priority is what I think is still an unrealized dream of Vatican II, which is to empower the laity for the transformation of the world. I still think an awful lot of lay Catholics don't understand their mission in the world. I love the old Catholic action model, whereby we draw people from a given area of life, say physicians and nurses, lawyers, politicians, business people, get them together, open the gospel to them, help them to see, judge, and act what they ought to do to transform the culture. So I think a top priority is the re-engagement of the laity around this central work of theirs, which is to transform society. Another major concern of mine, young people. Young people disaffiliating, yes, indeed, but also the struggles young people are facing, especially in our society today that's so dominated by the social media. It's marked by so much divisiveness. To empower young people to follow Christ boldly in the culture. So I'd say those two things are key for me.
Well, Your Excellency, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. We really appreciate it. God bless you.